We've got $50, let's figure out where we're going to put it. Now you've probably been seeing a lot about China's brand new proposal, and if you're not aware, basically in China, CS2 investing is very popular because people are not having a huge amount of trust in their government. Therefore, they don't have a ton of options for where they can put their money in a safe and reliable way, and CS2 skins have been at the forefront of that. But this proposal would go ahead and try to ban something like that, so people would be forced to invest their money into something that is controlled by the CCP. Now with that being said, this is not necessarily something that's guaranteed to go through. We saw NetEase drop quite significantly by this, but the article that was released with this has already been revoked by the Chinese government, and I don't think it's super likely something like this would actually succeed just because of the amount of detrimental impact we've already seen to a lot of the stocks inside of this area. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now talking about Borderless stickers and specifically Paris to start off, we haven't seen anything too impressive. In fact, a lot of stickers all across the board are probably down about 10 to 15% if we're talking about the holos specifically here. I don't think this is anything too out of the question, especially when we look at the overall market. Nothing has really changed fundamentally in a positive way, but we're also still seeing a lot of those factors that have been weighing pretty detrimentally on the market still there. We're still seeing a lot of people very pessimistic about the outlook of the game, and therefore there's not going to be any reason for anything to really see a massive amount of growth in this time period other than some of the things we're going to be talking about in a little bit. Now when we're talking about Borderless Capsules and specifically Paris to start off here, I'm actually not too concerned about the current moment. That's because of a lot of different things. First up, we haven't seen any massive growth inside of this area, but that's completely expected at this point. The market overall is a little bit too pessimistic for something like Paris, which has a massive amount of supply out there to go ahead and succeed in the current moment. With that being said, we're also not seeing these price points below 25 cents. 25 cents is the price that you could have bought these at months ago, and the fact that they're still above that when we're seeing such a massive supply in this area and not a ton of demand at the current moment is definitely more of a positive thing than a negative thing, and I think everyone can agree on that in the current moment. But if you're looking for a little bit more of a safer option, Stockholm and Antwerp are definitely going to be there. I'm going to push a little bit harder on these than Paris in this video just because I think right now if you're looking to make an investment, you're probably going to want to go for something that's a little bit more safer, a little bit more developed. Stockholm and Antwerp are definitely going to fit that bill. I would probably go for Antwerp if I didn't have the largest budget just because it's a little less developed than Stockholm. When we're looking at Stockholm, we're looking at $5, $6 capsules. When we're looking at Antwerp, we're looking at less than $1 still and a lot of potential. Some of these capsules look very, very nice. The stickers inside of them are unique, and that's exactly what you're going to want to focus in on if you want an investment that's not guaranteed to succeed but has a very strong likelihood to succeed. Now on the opposite end of safe investments, we got a couple things I think you should really be avoiding as of right now. First of all is going to be any risky investment. This is going to be RMR, souvenir packages, or even possibly agents. Basically anything that's not super liquid or not super well known as an investment that doesn't have strong fundamentals. If we're talking about Operation Skin, obviously it's got strong fundamentals, but if we're talking about some random sticker you just found on the Steam community market, it doesn't have strong fundamentals, and therefore it's probably not going to be succeeding, especially in a time like this. Those are items that usually only succeed when we see a major amount of hype, and I think we're very far from that in the current market. Therefore it would not be a smart pickup for you to make at the current moment. Now scheduled just about a month from when you're watching this video, we have the Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year in the past has not brought any content with it, but I find it very unlikely that we would see no content by then for a couple different reasons. First up, we have the Shanghai Major, which is the second major of 2024 happening in China. Valve has put a lot of effort into making sure the perfect world version of CS has gone flawlessly, and I find it very unlikely that they would do nothing and let this perfect opportunity go, although it's definitely Valve and it's very possible. More importantly though, we've seen a lot of people focus in on dragons because it is the year of the dragon in 2024, and a lot of people have been focusing in on the Tai Lu stickers. I don't think it's a great investment for you in the current moment for a couple different reasons. First up, you're probably a little bit late to the game. I've had people messaging this about a year ago trying to get me to pump it up, and therefore it's been a lot of people's interest for a long time. Combine that with the fact that the testament has kind of changed. It used to be that China and Tai Lu were connected and were both very prosperous together, but now it's really hard pressed to find any actual evidence to support the fact that China is in love with Tai Lu, and rather that Tai Lu has just kind of succeeded over time because it is a good looking sticker. Now breaking down this brand new Chinese proposal, it's actually not too complicated in this perfect walkthrough by Rambo Fight. Now a lot of people are going to try and mislead you, but the truth is this does not have super major implications. First of all, they're going to ban daily login rewards. Counter-Strike does not have that. They're going to ban the ability for minors to gamble. If you log into Counter-Strike Perfect World, you already have to have verified your identification, so it's not possible already. They have to store their game servers with China, which is already happening through Counter-Strike. They're going to set spending limits. Steam already has spending limits. Now most people are going to focus in on this statement right here because it's the most vague and can be manipulated the most. With that being said, it's actually not too important because it's mostly regarding currency and coins. Think of how RuneScape, you have the gold and you have the auction house how you spend the gold there. It's exactly what they're trying to go ahead and eliminate here, which is not very applicable to Counter-Strike. Now talking about cases, focusing in on the unboxing numbers, we see a very drastic trend forming. That's the fact that if we want to look at the active duty cases, they make up a majority of the unboxings here by a massive quantity, but even more specifically, the snakebite is falling behind very significantly, almost 50% less than the next actively unboxed case. Now if we want to look at the rare cases all across the board, we haven't seen anything too massive change. We are seeing a lot of these cheaper rare cases being unboxed, but we're also seeing a lot of the chromas picking up speed. Specifically, Chroma 3 and Chroma 2 are actually two of the most unboxed older rare cases in this specific example. Talking about prices all across the board for the month of December, we really haven't been seeing too much. A lot of these prices have remained relatively similar, which is really good for a lot of these rare cases considering the amount of them out there for supply is going to go down. Price is going to remain the same. Some point eventually it's going to switch, it's going to flip, and these prices are going to absolutely explode like we've seen in the past. Now my first purchase is going to be the snakebite case for a couple different reasons. Obviously the ROI on it isn't anything special, but what is special is those unboxing numbers. If we want to look at it, the snakebite case is significantly underperforming where we would expect it to be at, and therefore it makes it a huge prime opportunity for it to be the next remove. That's basically what we're going to be betting on here. With that being said, the price point we're buying in is extremely low, and therefore the odds that we would go ahead and lose money on this is not too high considering I don't think it can really go much cheaper, but I think it's a pretty okay option if you're looking for an active duty case, even though I'm not a fan of the active duty cases overall. Number 2 is going to be filler skins. Now we didn't talk about filler skins at all in this episode, but I think filler skins are one that's really just depending on what price point you buy them at. Filler skins at this current price point of 69 cents, which is what I bought them at, seem like a really okay pickup, especially if you think there's going to be more content on the way. Now with the current drop system, the prices are probably not going to get any higher unless we see anything that increases the demand because the supply is absolutely massive, but I think a lot of these honestly are starting to approach the lowest price point they can reasonably be at before people start to take a huge interest in them. The third thing I picked up was the sticker capsule 2. Now the sticker capsule 2 is something I commonly mention as the indicator just because it generally shows exactly what's going on inside the market. The market's very pessimistic right now and it's very low in price relatively speaking at only about a $20 price point. I think this is going to have a very easy path back to the $25 it was sitting at for a while, but even more so, it's a little bit more for diversification because once in a while it's a good idea to pick up some investments that are going to be okay in the short term, but they're mainly relying on the hype as long as they're still fundamentally good investments, which this exactly is. And finally, the last thing I went ahead and picked up was some of the Prisma 1 case, just because out there right now it's an okay option. It's not anything absolutely massive. The ROI isn't anything absolutely special, but when we look at unboxing numbers, it's still there. It's going to be continuing to be there. The supply on it is relatively average speaking, and I think this is one of the cases that I personally like moving forward just because the Prisma 1 and the Prisma 2 are going to see a lot of unboxing demand in the near future, and especially when this interest picks back up, I think people are going to be flocking to this case. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.